I'm Janet Eigner, and thank you so much for coming. And to the prodigious, wonderful hosts who keep creativity going. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. You know they're engaged to be married. Cloudcliff Bakery. This was written, by the way, right after we moved to Santa Fe 12 years ago. I was still unpacking boxes. I was already practicing psychology, and I was a little bit stressed. Cloudcliff Bakery. I'm hanging on by a Danish, caught by tart cherry skins. Shriveled, they mingle lush juice with cornstarch glue. I'm hanging on by a Danish, buoyed by its cheesy heart, sweetened mortar of cottage cheese, substantial as a mason's solid cottage. Yeast, flour, sugar, water, dough kneaded as the knot in my steamed gut, softens, leavens, baked through instinct, mouth to my husband's puckered lips, spooning the Polish Jew in my bed. Don't ask me to do another think. I'm hanging on by a Danish, no, by a Pole. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can hear more vibration. This happened when we went to the Bosque del Apache, and it's kind of about having a partner who's safe and who has your back, and kind of like the night heron guards his mate. Under the night heron's scrutiny. Not quite dusk, our tires crunch over gravel to the marsh where the millet grows. We throw down the foam cushions, slide down the car's side to watch. A strange bark, and out from the reeds, a great bird stalks, pearl chest, big as a newborn child. Black cap, and from his head a curved ribbon of white feather falls to his bright yellow knees. 10 feet away, his red eye fixes us for many minutes. We still are bewitched, twitches, and sift through the Sibley, the Peterson, find his listing on the chart, rarely seen Maybirds at the Bosque. This black-crowned night heron stalks back to his hummock. The baritone croak of a frog nearby, the silent, spindly ibis flocks, burgundy, phosphorescent, feeding as the sun turns painter. A ruby throat flies at my red shirt and darts away, for I am no flower. And lemon yellow warblers fly low overhead. Another barked warning, and the night heron returns with his brown-flecked spouse, halts at his prime view. Both turn one red eye upon us and stand immobile in the marsh, 5 minutes, 10, more, as the low sun turns water to silver liquor. Then the regal couple strides to a higher hummock, enters the green reeds that sway like a sultan's beaded curtain. Their human vigil continues until the female moves to the hidden nest, shifts over her eggs, and settles while the male, incorruptible, guards us with his piercing gaze, sharp and long as his onyx beak. Black crowns still eyeing us as we quietly drive away at dusk. Swallows by the thousands fly at the car, nabbing insects above the hot asphalt of the road, swerve just short of our windshield like the flap of a curtain fast closing on the stage of spring's divine comedy. Thanks. I made probably 10 or 12 trips down to the bottom of Grand Canyon a while ago, and this one is at the western end in the Havasupai Reservation. And Hard Beings Woman is a Havasupai goddess mentioned here. Maybe all of us can identify with that name. Hard Beings Woman. This is called Havasu Falls. A horse shrieks from the willow thicket, hooves swish the marsh waters. In the cliff lap of a sand dune I nestle, head bowed, drawing the misting emerald tresses of the goddess, only my pencil merging with her waterfall locks, which flow and pound. The cerulean pool between us joins me to this Hard Beings Woman, turned round, hair steaming, pulsing her white, streaming tendrils into the opulent travertine scallops, a filigree of terraced limestone. Golden ebony orioles piping alarm, wing out from the willows, a Havasu youth so handsome my breath catches, quietly climbs from the marsh. A red bandana pulls the raven hair from his shoulders. Seating himself beside me, he examines my drawings. I inquire carefully of his life. His voice, thin, reedy as the wind, urges me to come with him across Navajo Falls. His offer 30 years late in my measured life. I can only watch the milky waters which ceaselessly pour and refill the pools below us. That will be in a book that's coming out next year called Chamber Music. Will be published by Black Swan Editions. And now on to some social commentary, lesson from Homs. And I've really come to pretty much despise war toys. And this is something about how early we start training young men particularly for war. Lesson from Homs. Mission statement of the toy corporation Hasbro. Discover the value of play. Sponsor of Generation On. Empower youth to help make a difference, capital D. His being sparkles beyond its 10 years, but my grandson's toys, still those of a young boy, little spinning spheres, walnut size, he's asked for each recent birthday, holiday. Beyblades, Grandma, any style, any one. Duplicates are okay. I use their spare parts to repair my brokens. I find the Hasbro toys merely spinning tops, launched by Plastic Catapult, sold as a war game. December, I wrap the toys with heart and prayer. May he be a son of peace, not know the brutality of war. May the toy core market to kids on a level livelier, loftier. December, television, a video from Homs. An 8-year-old boy's Syrian living room. The camera traces a trail of blood from a sniper's stray bullet down a circular staircase, flowing like a narrow stream that twists and rounds to that pale, still child, owner of the lost, bloodless life. Lying behind his front entry, the handsome boy, victim 4001, wears a hoodie. On the sweatshirt, tall, bold letters across his branded chest spell out, Bay Blades. For him, no spare parts. And this next one is a local one. Happened when the 200 goats came to El Dorado. And this is for David and Amanita Thorpe, the Sunstar Herb Farm people who came, and Gene Crawford, who brought them here. eyes on Las Cabras. The rural carrier pulls up to my mailbox, leans out her Jeep window, squints at the herd, says, "I'm afraid of goats. They're scary. Just look at those eyes, eyes of a devil." But she says, "I love animals. 5 dogs and 4 cats at home." We both have chosen the country, away from the cities and their intensity. A variegated wave, those 200 goats, Angora, Nubian, Alpine, La Mancha, that quietly mosey and thin the weed-thick arroyo that's hard for us to hike through. One buck, up on hind legs, only looks like a satyr. Ravishing pine cones, purple berries of juniper. He's black-haired upside, satin shining in sunlight, white-haired below. They browse like a moving symphony. The goat herd, a rugged young woman, conducts on horseback. A risen joy stirs with this quiet melody. I could be an oboe, sounding like the courting goats. The herd's hairy number rouses my own essence of mammal, seething life force, though I squirm from its harsh strains, essence of goatiness, plangent on dry air. Ebony horns and long horns, short horns, nubbins, curly horns, or hornless. The cabras bob along, wattles and beards waggling. Four-leggeds nibbling, thinning the Russian thistle, cochia, rabbit brush, the ragweed. Hooves that dimple and soften the soil. 2 silver Angoras in thick autumn coats lead the herd around an adobe wall. Brush flanks with the smooth-haired cabras, spotted almond and ecru, or frosted Swiss mocha and gold, delicious. I venerate this orderly mammalness. The nanny's sides bulge, promising spring births. Kids bleat and tug at their mother's dugs. A billy jumps the portable fence, but lets the vigilant sheepdog do her job. At the goat herd's whistle, hauls herself up off the grass, noses him back over the wire. The goat's black pupils, rectangular slits, close down like window shades meeting their sills. A singular, stubborn focus on food, flock, affection. The newspaper describes a city street, its row of modest homes, where a stranger slows and leans out his van, sights cats, dogs, 1 goat, and chickens sharing a small fenced yard. The human iris, dilating, round, fixes on the cabra. Look at those eyes, eyes of a devil. The man jumps from his van, shoots and kills the goat for hellish fun. And I think each of us has had a poem about our mothers. This one, my mom's been in hospice for 4+ months in San Diego, so I missed the first 2 readings I was scheduled for, and I'm so glad to be here. She's still hanging on. This is called Coaxing the Flame of Life. As kids, oh. Yeah. Coaxing the flame of life. As kids, the neighbor girls and I jumped rope, called out, "One I love." Song and plodding rhythm return today when dementia is eating her up. Massage mother's scalp as she sways in her wheelchair, lists to the left, the aide lifts and rights her. 2 I love. To rouse her with a manicure, rub and rub away the once crimson glow of the worn-away polish. Like blood easing away, streaking the rough towel soaked with remover as plaque has almost consumed the clowning, earthy imp of her. 3 I love, I say. Soak her fingertips in the warm suds. Scrub away the rind of grime, not noticed since my last visit here, and let the soft skin dry. 4 I love with all my heart. Wheel out my mama to the comfort of sun and breeze, the cerulean beauty of the phosphorescent peacock and hen who capture and still enthrall what cells of her bright life still live. 5, I am not learning not to cast away the black silk blouse strewn with red roses that matches the skirt missing from her closet. I tell the aides it must go with her to the cremation. I cannot bear to see it again without her exuberance within. And the last one is from Cornstalk Mother, a chapbook from a couple of years ago. And I was going to read the Isaac's Blessing, but you can hear me read this poem on my website. It's EignerDancesWithWords.com. I also write about dance a lot, so it's a combination website. The poem appears in this book published by Pudding House Publishers, and this really sweet honor is that this particular poem about the son of our late daughter was chosen by Ted Kooser, the former U.S. Poet Laureate, to appear on Poetry Magazine's Poetry Foundation website the week of April 23rd, to be downloaded for free by newspapers, and they can publish it in their weekly column of the same name. So I'll have this chapbook for sale after the reading, and the poems will be published this summer in my full-length collection, What Lasts is the Breath, coming out this summer from Black Swan Editions after Lynn Holm edits it. Thank you, Lynn. So what I'm going to read is about our son's son, Enrique. This is called Pez Globo, and this is the last one, by the way. Pez Globo and Tortuga Golfina, Nayarit, Mexico. The puffer fish, let's start over. The puffer fish smelled stinking dead, washed in by the warm morning tide, but when the grandmother knelt by her adorable body, not gobs of starlet blonde hair, but platinum spikes 1 inch long, big blue eyes on either side, fat pink lips, chesty curves, her gills still faintly moved. They left her in a rocky pool where the Pacific gods might decide her fate, and turned to climb the stairway to the bungalow when a small brown turtle shifted in the sand. Newly hatched and hesitant, it plied the palm shade with its soft paddle hands. 5 strokes toward the ocean's roar, 6 strokes back to shelter near the concrete steps. The grandmother phoned her friend Alejandra, who knew what to do. When? After dusk or before dawn. Until then, keep it in seawater. With a rock or sand to crawl onto? No, it can resist until then. Release it where? In the sand to crawl to the sea. What's it called in the Pueblo? Tortuga Golfina. All day the grandson, Enrique, her son's toddler, still shaky on his own walking legs, pulled himself up to the table, peeked into the blue bucket, squealing at the swimming baby smaller than himself. At dusk they took the turtle, which Evelina had named Marina, to the beach, trained their sights on its still advancing, retreating efforts as it dragged and sashayed its tiny soft body slowly through the sand. They cheered, willing this last to hatch nestling to thrive, be one not eaten among multitudes consumed before reaching the deep sea. By moonlight, this coin of life, caught by one breaker, pulled forward by another, drew closer and finally was waved into what the Huicholes call Mother Goddess of the Sea, Tate Haramara. Back in dry Santa Fe, Gershon, the Rebbe, told them from his synagogue of boulders and sand, if everything were boring as Eden, life would be hell. that to climb the rickety, uncertain ladder of becoming is life's fine struggle. Thank you.